Hello everyone, Gamertag here, and today we're going to be taking Torchic through Pokemon Ruby as it tackles the Hoenn region. Now, I know a lot of you are probably surprised as to why it's Pokemon Ruby over Pokemon Emerald, but there was a suggestion given, I believe, back on the Pikachu video a couple years ago, and it said Pokemon Ruby or Emerald, and I was like, well, Pokemon Ruby was a big part of my childhood because when I was in middle school I got a silver Game Boy SP and a copy of Pokemon Ruby, and well, the rest was history, so here we are. So, I am planning on doing all three starters in this game at some point. I might just do all of them in Pokemon Ruby, I'm not entirely sure, but we named our Torchic Nugget. You know, like Chicken Nugget, because, well, I might have been kind of hungry when I started this challenge and might have been, you know, waiting on food to be done, cooking or something, but we get a Dolcial nature, which isn't great, but at least it doesn't hurt defense. So our move pool is pretty decent. It would be nice to have something like Brick Break as opposed to Dig, but Dig is okay. Aerial Ace is going to come in handy likely. Flamethrower by level up is outstanding. So we definitely have the likely move pool that you would see for really any fire type starter. Pretty simple, pretty basic. But we do have a slight issue. The first gym is the Rock Gym, and well, as you saw, we don't really have anything to work with at all. In fact, every single move that we can learn at this point in the game, Roxanne resists every single one of them. And while we can get Dig, we can't get Dig until Falibor, which is, yeah, that's quite a ways away. That's after the third badge, so we're just gonna have to deal with not having much to work with. The good news is the trainers here aren't that strong, it's pretty good training, and we didn't get the worst Torchic in the world. I mean, sure, Dolcial Nature's neutral stat gains and it's not amazing, but we could have had something with really bad attack, or really bad defense, or speed. So we just have to work with what we got. Now, there is a potential issue of not having a female starter because there are some Pokemon that have Attract in this game, but considering how rare a female starter is, and I generally try to get one that's halfway decent, it was kind of a lost cause from the get-go. So we'll have to see how this goes, because I know we're going to have some difficult gyms. I mean, we're going to have that Psychic Gym and the Water Gym and things like that. But we're going to take a stab at Roxanne and see how this goes. So at level 18, we're taking a lot of damage. Like, Rock Tomb is doing half of our health immediately. And yes, it's only 85 accuracy, which is embarrassingly terrible. You know, 85 accuracy isn't that bad, like you would think, but no, it's like, have any of you grown up using Slam and it's 75 and it's abysmal? Yeah, Rock Tomb's just that, just not quite as bad. So all the way up at level 22, I decided to try again. And you can see how much more damage we're doing. Ember is just about a 2-shot on Geodude, but more importantly, we got her to waste both of her potions on her first Geodude. Now, Nosepass is not going to have a berry or anything like that in this game because that's only in Pokemon Emerald. So, theoretically, the gym leaders are easier, I guess, but there's still going to be some challenges. So, Ember's doing quite a bit of damage to Nosepass. We do get hit with Rock Tomb, but thanks to our level, one Rock Tomb isn't going to allow her to outspeed us. She went for Harden at one point, which was surprising, but we do end up winning, and finally we can move on. I honestly thought we'd need until 25 to win this fight, so I'll take it. But we can't quite go to Dewford yet because we have to fight this Grunt. We just one-shot as Poochyena. I mean, we're twice the level of it. I would have been surprised if we didn't. But hey, you know what? At least we can continue now. Speaking of Grunts, though, I have to ask, where does Maxie find these guys? Like, does he just find some random hobo off the street and just throw him in uniform and say, okay, here you go? Because these Grunts are terrible. They used Ember on a Torchic with a Null. Do they not know type advantages? Like, I understand grunts are the lowest class from, like, trainers in their rank or whatever, but at least have them know type advantages. It's honestly embarrassing. Just, not even here, like, just Team Rocket in general. Like, it's just, like, shouldn't it be mandatory for trainers to know basic fundamentals? Yeah, anyway, we're gonna take out that frustration and go fight Brawly. Amazingly, he wasn't actually that bad. I mean, sure, arm thrust kind of hurts, and Ember's not doing that much thanks to Thick Fat making it do less, but it's an easy 3-shot, and we were never really in any danger. Still had a third of our health left. But now we're at the point where it is going to go very, very sour. Introducing the second May fight. For those of you that have watched any speedrunning videos, you'll know just how much of a train wreck this fight is. We use Peck, hardly do anything, we use Sand Attack, and we still get 2-shot by Mudshot instantly. To make it even better, nothing we can learn is better than Peck. Well, I think we get Quick Attack in a few levels, but yeah, so now we're grinding. Now, normally, I don't show too much with grinding footage because it's nothing exciting. But here we are, finding Poochyena no higher than level 4. Yes, this early in the game, when it's not Pokemon Emerald, this is the best place you can find for attack effort values. And it only gives off 1 every single time. Now, if we had the Macho Brace that we can't get until we get to Mauville, this would be speeding up the process tenfold. But no, it's not. So this is a very, very lengthy process and took me 2.5 hours. 2.5 hours to do the second May fight that normally shouldn't be too bad, even in most solo challenges. So here we are, back at level 30 with Quick Attack. Obviously we one-shot Shroomish, but now we do relatively decent damage to Marshtop, and Sand Attack actually did something. It's really funny because last time she didn't miss at all, and now the first time she misses, so we can get her down with Quick Attack, and now, finally, we can advance past this fight. Oh, at least it's finally over. So I know the next gym is the Electric Gym, and I know we probably don't need to fight the trainers here since, you know, picking Torchic, it's pretty much impossible to lose to Watson. But we're going to need all the training we can get, because the next gym is the Fire Gym, which is going to be a nightmare. And then we have Norman, and then we have somewhere in there Team Magma, which, you know, iffy, we'll see how that one goes. But we're going to need, just in general, we're going to need all the training we can get. Especially because at some point we're going to have the always brutal Psychic Gym, and a likely difficult Water Gym after that. So, any training we can get at this point is going to help. I mean, yeah, we're not going to lose to Watson, you know, spoiler alert, but still. Speaking of Watson, I need to understand what he's doing here. Okay, because the only damage we took was when Voltorb blew up with Self-Destruct. To make it even better, he uses his favorite move, Thunder Wave, for the millionth time. And then we have a Cherry Berry, and then this guy just does it again. Well, he would have if we didn't KO him, but seriously, I guarantee you 1000% he would have used it again. Because I don't get what's with his AI. Like, he's programmed to always go for Thunder Wave and it baffles me. Well, at least we can go take care of Maxie. Now, unfortunately, our attack is down for the whole fight, and he's used Sand Attack, so we're less likely to hit him. Camera Up hits a pretty weak magnitude. We then end up missing Slash, miss again, he goes for Tackle yet again, because apparently he's forgetting how to fight. I think his team is rubbing off on him and their terrible ability at battling. But we end up critting Slash to take out Camerupt, miss Ember, hit Ember on Golbat, it hits Wing Attack, and we end up winning with a very small amount of health left. Man, Sand Attack definitely messed us up more than I thought it would. Well, at least we can, skip past the massive amount of grinding I had to do and go fight Flannery. So, as you can see, we're at level 43, which is crazy compared to the level that we were, but this was the level we needed to actually win. We needed to go until Dig was a 2-shot on Torchic, and we didn't get that to happen until 43. Just for the record, I tried at 40, I tried at 42, I tried at 35. None of them were quite enough, and I think 42 might have been a range, but I think when I checked it, it wasn't quite enough. Moving on to fight Norman in the Petalburg gym. Now, Norman generally can be very difficult, unless your strongest move is a special move and his team is pretty weak in special defense. We didn't quite outspeed the second slacking. Well, I don't actually know if we did or not, because Norman and his brilliant battling just keep spamming Focus Punch, which can't work because we always attack. So it was a really easy fight. I just don't know why he has Focus Punch. Like, literally anything would be better than Focus Punch. Does anyone remember this hipster guy in Dewford who would just like, hey man, you gotta tell me what's in? It was always an interesting series of events to me because you could pick anything, and I don't know what algorithm determined what worked or not, but apparently, if you use color television, it pretty much never fails. I've never actually seen it not work, and I just find it amazing that color television, which was kind of a game changer for the whole film industry, naturally works, considering it actually happened, and then this plaque just is titled The Birth of Color Television, which just makes it better to me. But moving on from that, we're going to do the last required fight against May. Now this fight isn't difficult, not just because we're really over-leveled, but because her team is just still not good, and the only Pokemon that would even be a slight threat is Marshtomp, but we easily just 2-shot with Return, because Mudshot doesn't even 2-shot us, and we still outspeed thanks to us being pretty over-leveled. Alright, next we're going to fight Winnona. Now, most of her team isn't that bad. Pelipper goes for Water Gun, which doesn't really do anything. Stalls out with Protect, which also does nothing. But Altaria had me worried. It goes for Dragon Dance, outspeeds and hits Earthquake, but we survive on just 5 health. With that, we can just simply one-shot Skarmory with Flamethrower, getting us the 6th badge. Alright, well that was really close. I thought we were going to lose there for a second. Well, at least we got Aerial Ace, which is one of the few TMs that we get that, we can actually use. This May fight isn't required, but it's good for training, and considering that the next gym is the Psychic Gym, which is going to be an absolute train wreck, we're going to need all the help we can get. Now, I do have a code plugged in for rare candies, just because, well, our EVs are clearly maxed at this point. They were maxed by the time we got to Flannery, by the way. So, it's just going to save me a lot more time. Oh yeah. So, you know how I said that Maxie probably has random hobos for his grunts? What is he even doing taking the blue orb? Okay, he knows Groudon can expand landmass, right? How does he not know that the red orb is what's needed for Groudon? Like, this was definitely a big oversight that clearly, I think Game Freak missed the whole point of he's supposed to take the correct one. At least in Emerald, they fixed that, which is also why I generally pick Emerald, not just because it's more challenging, but the plot actually makes a little bit more sense. Alright, so, we're definitely not ready for the Psychic Gym. It takes 4 Flamethrowers for us to break through Solrock. Alright, new plan. A whole 10 levels higher at level 70, everything goes perfectly. Lunatone takes out Wingull, so subscribe, Faints, which, by the way, if you're enjoying the video, subscribe. So we're able to easily 2-shot Lunatone, and then Solrock perfectly does the very great thing and sets up Sunny Day for us. So now it's an easy time, as we can just simply 2-shot it and take hardly any damage in the process. Thanks to all their Hyper Potions, though. The sun fades, but it's still a 2-shot. Also, they have like 4 Hyper Potions. I don't know why they honestly need like 4 Hyper Potions. But at least this fight's out of the way. Alright, last Maxie fight, and hopefully this is just as down to the wire as the last one. So, Mighty Anna's a one-shot with Flamethrower. Camerupt comes in, we go for a turn, and he just forgets how to battle using Amnesia. With that, it's just Super Potion after Super Potion, which is amounting to nothing, so Camerupt's an easy takeout with Return, and then Crobat just goes for Wing Attack and we one-shot with Flamethrower. Okay, that fight was boring. Never mind. Maxie is just... he's apparently only good in Mount Chimney. And now his blue orb has made Groudon angry, so we have to do the dirty work for him. By stopping Groudon. That we one-shot with Flamethrower, possibly thanks to the sunlight, but also possibly thanks to the crit. Really, Maxie, you're amazing. You're just not good at really anything. Alright, time for Wallace. So, Water Pulse does pretty big damage. We have to two-shot with Flamethrower because of Celio's Thick Fat. Shell Bell, though, is an amazing item I highly recommend. Whiscash forgets how to battle and uses Amnesia, so we just hit Return. It really amazes me how the AI in this game doesn't catch when you're using physical moves to waste and still waste Amnesia. I just don't get it. Seeking, though, is going to outspeed thanks to Rain Dance, hitting a very big Water Pulse. Well, big in his case, it only did like 50. But Milotic is going to come out, we hit Return, he hits a massive Water Pulse, leaving us with only 33 health left, but it doesn't confuse, so we get the win on the following Return. Man, that could have been very dangerous if he got that confusion. We just had to try again anyway, but at least it's out of the way. And we get another TM that we can't use. Really, I love how pretty much every TM in this game was virtually useless. Alright, time for Wally. So, if you want to fast forward through this fight, by all means, there's timestamps. I'm not going to be upset. We swept his entire team and didn't even take a single lick of damage. Really. Like, he didn't do anything. Altaria didn't even attack and went for Safeguard, and Gardevoir just goes for Double Team, and we just have Aerial Ace to offset the fact that his evasion was up. Really, Wally, you're so good. How did you get all the badges to begin with? Finally, time for the Elite Four, and Dark Trainer Sidney is up first. And I should say down first, because this fight was incredibly easy. I went for Aerial Ace against Sharpedo, and I didn't know if Flamethrower would have one-shot, but I probably should have just went for it anyway, because, let's be honest, Sharpedo's defenses are garbage, so we probably would have just one-shot anyway. Absol just goes for Swords Dance and then goes down, and last out is Shiftry, who we just Aerial Ace expecting Double Team, which, look at that, Double Team. I also thought he might Fake Out, and whatever. Hey, at least it's out of the way. Alright, well, I mean, that fight wasn't anything I expected to be difficult. I mean, Sidney's always easy. Next up, we have Ghost Trainer Phoebe. So, I Aerial Aced on Dusclops just because I didn't think Flamethrower would one-shot. It does mean we're losing more power points thanks to pressure, but I'm not that worried about it. I've got some Lepa Berries and stuff in my bag. So we do get confused. On the second Dusclops, we take it out with Flamethrower. Bandit comes out, and we get through the confusion and hit Flamethrower for the one-shot. Sableye comes out, we snap out of confusion, one-shot that with Flamethrower, and then the second and last Pokemon, being Herpanet, just gets one-shot with Flamethrower, getting us the win. Alright, well, we already know Glacia's going to take some grinding, so let's just get that out of the way. Alright, so Glacia took quite a bit of leveling up. So we're all the way up at level 85. Obviously, the Glacia's a one-shot with Flamethrower. We luck out and crit Return on the Celio to take it out, but the next Celio makes us fall in love with it with Attract. We're only immobilized for the one turn, though, and then take it out. Walrein, though, is what I was worried about. So I decided to set up the Sun, so that this way, Surf will do less, but then she just crits Surf. Thankfully, Flamethrower is almost a one-shot. I was really hoping it would be. Unfortunately, the Citrus Berry does mean she's still going to heal because of where her health is. But all she does is just keep using full restores while we just keep plugging away with Flamethrower, and then take her out with Return. I love how they will just always use the full restores, even when they know it's not going to matter. I know they're just programmed that way, but I guess it just makes it take a little bit longer. I mean, besides, it's not like that Glalie would have mattered with the sun up anyway. Alright, so Last for the Elite Four is Drake. We decide to set up the sun as he misses 2 rock tombs. I know, it's just so reliable, isn't it? Flygon just sets up the sand, which isn't really too much of a problem. We finish him off with Return, then the next Flygon comes out and decides that it's just going to hit Sand Attack, which could be problematic. Which of course we miss the next Return, he hits Dragon Breath, we finish him off with the next Return, and then comes out Altaria. Now Altaria could be a problem, especially if it knows Earthquake. It goes for Dragon Breath, we miss Flamethrower, he sets up Dragon Dance twice as we hit Flamethrower in the second time. We get Shell Ball Recovery, then he goes for Takedown, which tells me he doesn't have Earthquake. This time he hits another Takedown as we finish him off with Return. The crit didn't matter. Unfortunately, we miss Return against Salamence and lose. Now, it wouldn't have mattered anyway. I don't think we were going to one-shot. Next attempt, though, we don't get hit with Sand Attack, and we end up burning Salamence, but he just goes for Crunch, but we're able to finish him off, and that takes us to Pokemon Champion Steven. Alright, well this fight should be interesting. Skarmory's going to be a one-shot with Flamethrower. Metagross comes out and also gets one-shot with Flamethrower. Why does he have so many Steel types? It's crazy. Next out is Claydol. It just sets up Light Screen, which could be problematic. I debated going for the Sun just to try to stall out some Light Screen. We ended up lucking out and critting Aggron with Flamethrower for the one-shot. That crit definitely mattered with the screen still up. But there's 2 turns left, so we decide to go for Dig against Cradily to finish off the Light Screen. Now we can Flamethrower, that'll finish off Cradily. And last out is our Maldo, which we don't quite one-shot. He just goes for Slash. He heals up, I decide to go for Sunny Day, and Sunny Day with the boost is going to allow Flamethrower to KO our Maldo, getting us the win. Alright, well, that went about as I expected. I'm curious what would have happened, though, if we didn't crit the Flamethrower against Aggron, but hey, a win's a win. That was a fun run. It went about as I expected. Now, obviously, if this was Emerald, this would have been much tougher, but it's nice to have a pretty expected run, at least in my eyes. So, the next run that I have planned is Pokemon Platinum with Torterra, which I think is going to be very interesting. It's a starter I never use that often. But leave suggestions down below in the comment section, and of course, if you enjoyed the video, subscribe. But in terms of suggestions, though, I really want to try to find something in Generation 2, and I am going to be unleashing a special video in probably a few weeks, just since my birthday is going to be coming up and I want to do something for that. But again, Gen 1 or Gen 2 suggestions or something, those are games I really want to get back into. But I just want to say thanks to everybody for watching. Have a great day.